lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're Drive-In Theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. You are tuned in to the Drive-In Speaker Box podcast. We are a film podcast. If this is your first time downloading the show or tuning in or doing whatever, or if you're tuned in live, we are live right now. We do the live stream Monday nights, every Monday night, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. And I'm your host, Bo, the Boo Operator.
I'm Slick Doggy the Grit.
And we are here. We're going to be here with you for the next hour-ish. I might plow through this one, make it a little quick because I've got stuff I got to do at the bar. It is Lost Souls season for Pinpoint. So for those of you that listen to the show all the time, my bar here in Northwest Arkansas, we do some transformative, immersive cocktail experiences, and our spooky pirate tiki event is happening this weekend, so I got to build it out. But I did get a chance to go see a movie over the weekend. I also went to Transworld in St. Louis over the weekend.
I was wondering where you found the time for a movie.
I got home. I drove home Sunday morning. I got back about like 6 p.m. Sunday evening, and then I was still, like that second wind you get. Like if you don't go to bed early, then you're just like jazzed up, and you're like, well, I guess I'm awake now. And they had a 10:30 showing of They Will Kill You, and I was like, you know what? Let's ride. And so I went and was glad I did. Saw They Will Kill You. I mean, I have had so much horror in the past 3 days. Like I don't know if you guys know about Transworld in St. Louis, but it's one of the biggest Halloween trade shows in the United States. There's also like a Christmas trade show that's attached to it for people that are haunters, people that work in the haunted attraction industry, and just spooky things. It's very, very cool. And then it came back and watched a horror movie. Did you catch any movies this weekend?
I got caught up on a movie that came out a couple weeks ago. I watched Mercy because it was available at home.
Lord of mercy.
And I figured that would be something fun to just talk about and potentially poop on. So, I got caught up on Mercy because the only things we had were a couple of horror movies, and you know that's not really my bag.
Well, it's my bag, so we're going to be talking about that later in the show.
I did it for you, Vince.
But before we get into what's coming out in theaters this week and what I just saw, let's talk about the news because a week happened. There was some stuff that was talked about. Not a lot of stuff that seemed very interesting to me specifically, but stuff that we need to talk about, like the Harry Potter trailer for the new season of Harry Potter, the TV show.
We haven't got to talk about that on here yet.
No, we didn't really talk about it.
Oh man, yeah. All of the fears that everyone had when the casting was announced are just being more and more solidified, and the producers' claim to stay true to the books is just unraveling very quickly.
And also the movies did too. I think.
Yeah, but the movies strayed in the ways that I think they had to. They did the same thing as Lord of the Rings, where like the changes they made were still in the spirit of the original, to the point where it's like you had to be a big book nerd to be all like, oh, but this is missing, and oh, they could have done that. But it was like there was technology limitations, runtime limitations, like things like that.
I feel like with some of these TV shows now, it's like they're wanting so much more. It used to be, man, how do you fit all of the book into like 2 to 3 hours? That's impossible. And now they're like, how do you fit everything from the book into 3 8-hour seasons? And you're like, that's too much time.
Well, so every year is supposed to get its own season.
Of course.
We'll see if it makes it that far. Lots of people critical on it, not for the reasons that people would immediately think, but just because they're like, hey, I get that it's fantasy, but you do have to live in the real world and think of things before you act on things. And rather than upholding what's her name, J.K. Rowling's like stories, they are definitely inserting themselves into things and stuff too. And when they announced that J.K. Rowling was going to be part of it, people were like, I can't believe you would involve her, because I guess people are mad at her again. People really didn't like her for a long time, and then people were like, maybe J.K. Rowling wasn't so bad, and then I guess now they're mad at her again.
I'm still mad at her.
Yeah, I don't know, but
here's the thing:
she's the creator. You can't just not have her involved at all.
The thing that I'm still, just I think no one's really talking about is that this may have been a TV series that everybody asked for. I think everybody wanted more. I think people wanted more Harry Potter. They didn't want the same Harry Potter done over again.
Well, and what I've seen a lot is that Harry Potter never left. There's no reason to bring it back.
That was my next point. It's still very much a part of people's annual ritual. People are like, oh, at Christmas we watch this, or oh, we do this, and everybody still is very much ingrained in Harry Potter mania. Yeah. So it's still very fresh. And when you try to resurrect something or remake something, it's generally when it's gone stale. And it hasn't gone stale yet.
Yeah, or at least been long enough. And, seeing Nick Frost as Hagrid, even there was an interview with Christopher Columbus. He's like, yeah, I saw the trailer. Why? He goes, I saw the costume that we designed for Hagrid in our movie, and it's on Nick Frost. If you're going to do your own thing, do your own thing. Don't do the exact thing that we came up with, reading it from page to screen. Because if your whole thing is to make it new for the screen, make it new. Don't take the thing that we made and then reuse it and then say that it's your thing. And Nick Frost as Hagrid, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. What Dina say, she said the show's supposed to take 12 years to make. I hadn't heard that. I heard that they were doing one season for every year of the books, and I figured they were just going to work it continuously, because if they take
each
that
season
long,
probably will take 2 years to make.
Well, the kids are going to age out, and you're going to have like a bearded Harry at 15, and it's just not going to work.
A literal Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's not going to work. John Lithgow, is he still Dumbledore?
Yes, he is Dumbledore.
They didn't show him at all though, did they?
I've only seen freeze frames.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. Man, I don't.
It just looks bad. And another thing, going to this that is a bigger conversation, not just about Harry Potter, but other television and other, TV movies and stuff in general, is a lot of people are saying, like, why does it look so flat? Why does it look so dull? Why does it look so dark? Why does it just not look magical? And why does so much internet, like TV, these streaming shows, just look boring and flat and not cinematic in the way that makes you feel like, oh wow, this is a movie, And it goes to something that not a lot of people understand, and that's color grading. And, I think Holly, who's probably not tuned in right now, she's always like, why don't you guys talk more nerdy movie stuff? And I'm about to. One of these things that people they take for granted is colorizing, color grading, and doing that post-production coloring. A lot of people think that, you point an HD camera at something, they build the set, they do it, they light it, and that's what they edit. They take that footage. That's step one, right? You got to take all that footage and then you take it to a post house and they do what is called color grading. And it's where you can create atmosphere, you can create tone, you can create, how different scenes feel based on just a grade of color that they use for a particular scene. And in the Chris Columbus Harry Potters, they were very colorful because they were color graded like a mofo. They spent so much time making these elements feel fantastic, and the flames feeling magic, and the scarfs being characters in and of themselves. You don't really think about that, and that's the magic of good coloring on a movie. You go look at like Technicolor movies, why they hit different is because Technicolor was a way of color grading back then before they had computers and stuff. And you're like, why does it feel so magical? And it's because the coloring.
Well, and I think part of it is because there's something one of our viewers just said, maybe I have no room in my heart for wonder, but I never liked Harry Potter. And that comment aside, there's something very important there. It says no room in your heart for wonder. And that's a big part of the filmmaking, is that there aren't filmmakers anymore. There's not these teams of people that can make films like Christopher Columbus and the crew that he would choose to make this movie with. you don't have people that have magic and wonder and the ability to create movies that tell a story through the lighting and the movement and the color and all of these things that it takes to make a movie that matters.
They're going to put that guy in a suit, put a knife on or sword on his back, and we'll shoot him punching the guy. We made it.
You don't have these people that have imagination. Clearly, they can't think of an idea to make, so they just remake something that no one needed a remake of. And there is a lot of problems with the modern filmmakers and people coming into the business. Film isn't for art anymore. It is 100% just for money. There's no art to it. The art has no value anymore like it did when it began 100 years plus ago.
Well, Al Topich on Twitch said a comment. So the movie Albert, Technicolor is the best. Al Topich says, but is that just being lazy about color grade, or is that just the style these days, dark and flat? And honestly, I think maybe that's like the cart and the horse. I think sometimes it has become the style because we got lazy and it was easy to do, and then it became more prevalent, and everybody's like, well, that was popular, let's do it that way. And then it's like it just kind of one kind of begets the other, I think. And it's because the dark and flat was really easy. And if you go and you look at, just like using Panavision lenses. I mean, just something as simple as lens choice. Like when you look at something that's shot on Panavision lenses and prime lenses versus, jack of all trades, whatever ARRI lens of the week that your crew happens to have, they hit different. You're like, whoa, why does Back to the Future look different than name some time travel bullshit movie that's on Netflix right now? And it's because of these intentional choices that are a little harder and a little more difficult and require a little bit more skill. And I think that it's, I don't want to say it's just pure laziness. I feel like a lot of these production teams are up against impossible deadlines. And you got to take those shortcuts where you can get them, because you've got producers and studios and streaming services that are like, we can't take 3 years. We need 17 hours of content for this new season, and we need it by the end of the year. And normally these post houses would do like one movie would take 4 or 5 months to do, and they're like, no, we got to get this done. We got to do an episode a month and get it out in the middle of all this other crap that they're having to churn out. I don't know. I think that's a really interesting question, and maybe one creates the other. Let's see.
Star Punch's hot take, by the way, the worst thing the Jim Henson Company ever did is better than the best CGI ever made.
Yeah,
I like practical effects quite a bit. I mean, nothing will ever look as good as like the Rancor in Return of the Jedi, or what's another great practical effect?
Or any Harryhausen effects. Like you go back and you look at that and it's not real, and but it's a style. And it looks cool, and it still has a sense of how they do that.
Yeah, or like T2, like ripping off and having the hand, and like having the body doubles in the mirror, so it's not really a mirror, but it looks like a mirror, and so it's all happening in real time. Yeah, practical effects will always win. I love practical effects. Hey, since you brought it Back to the Future, we did have a loss. The
Principal Skinner.
Slackers. Yeah, man, he passed away.
What's his name?
James Tolkien.
Right, that's the principal from The Simpsons.
No, that was
Strickland. Principal Strickland.
Strickland, yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, especially in Back to the Future 2, where he comes out with the shotgun shooting at him. Slackers. Yeah, that was super rad. He was 94 years old.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look old since the mid-'80s. And then stepping away from that sad stuff to move back to the magic, but also kind of sad stuff. We talked about Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. We are getting another sequel with quotations and a question mark next to it, because it takes place in the early middle of Fellowship of the Rings. We're getting a Tom Bombadil movie that nobody wants.
No.
They made this announcement.
Bombadil sounds like a cream that you'd put on your gooch.
No. So they made this
Ooh, you got
announcement
any Bombadil?
where Peter Jackson has announced that Stephen Colbert and his son Stephen Colbert's son will be helping write this Tom Bombadil movie that nobody needs or wants.
I mean, that's cool that they're writing it, but nobody's asking for it.
Tom Bombadil's cool, but no one wants this as a live action movie. I don't need the few chapters of Tom Bombadil and Goldberry and all that. But the worst part of it is that they're doing those as a flashback segment. So this movie that's a middlequel of Fellowship of the Ring is being framed as a framing device of Sam, Merry, and Pippin after Frodo sails to the Undying Lands. It's been like a decade and a half, and they're like, let's go retrace our footsteps because we had such a good time last time being attacked by forests that came to life and roving gangs of orcs and wargs and let's rewalk all those steps together. And part of it is they go to the forest, and this is all being led by Sam's daughter, so she's going to be the hero of the story, just like they fucked it up with War of the Rohirrim. They're like, that person that didn't have a name and that didn't matter, let's make her the main character because screw Helm Hammerhand. We get that he's the legend and he's the one that this whole thing's named after. But what if he just freezes to death after 5 minutes because the girl really needs to be the star of the show? I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. But they're going to do it again.
Yes.
And no one's excited about this. I like Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. I don't need a movie about flashbacks of Tom Bombadil and these three hobbits going on a journey that they did not go on. So they are stepping away from the lore. They are stepping away from the writings of Tolkien, which is what got him into trouble with The Hobbit, why no one likes The Hobbit. No one likes any part of the Hobbit movies. They are not good.
They're not good.
Because they stretched it too thin. They added in their own characters that they created just for the movies. They added in their own storylines that they added just for the movies, and no one wants that crap. People want it to be Tolkien. It has lasted this long because it is good, and you can't change it. Don't do that. And so, right now the internet's on fire with everyone upset because while all of us would love to have a movie about Tom Bombadil, not this.
Not that one.
Not this. Give us an animated
movie.
Not
my Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil is definitely suited for an animated movie.
It's the generic Bombadil. It never gets the itch away.
He doesn't need, he does not need to be in a live action movie. And plus, once you bring him in, the changes they made in Lord of the Rings, don't do it. Stop right now. Don't do it. Hey, so anyhow, speaking of dumb, fantastical journeys.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes and we need to talk about...
That don't need to exist. There's another Jumanji movie coming out.
Oh, I saw that
And
too.
it's scared of Dune and Avengers. So they are moving it a couple of weeks to be released on Christmas so that they can be a little further separated from Dune and Avengers.
Because that Dune 3 going to be... It's just like...
It's going to be...
Move over every theater. Like, fill them up. IMAX.
Yeah.
All of it. Dune 3.
Well, and talking... what's her name? The blonde girl that's in Dune 3. Anna something. She was in the Viking movie.
Yep. That one.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
She was in that movie with the towers and they weren't supposed to talk, but then they talked. She does the voice of Peach in the upcoming Mario movie.
Which we're about. Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, there it is. Anya Taylor-Joy. Did you see that your boy is playing Star Fox in this movie? So now...
Of course...
In the
Glenn
second movie,
effing Powell is playing
second movie,
Star Fox.
They're already stepping outside of Mario Bros. And going into the expanded Nintendo universe.
Which means if they get the Zelda movie that they're trying to plan on, then maybe in the next Mario movie, they'll throw in Link, and he better, and I quote better, be the, well, excuse me, Princess Link, because that I'll watch.
Yeah, they shouldn't have Star Fox in Mario.
No, they
because
shouldn't.
They exist in different
because
different
Metroid's going to show
universes.
up.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, Smash Bros." Oh, if you remember the lore of Smash Bros, it's a kid's toys that he's playing with, which is why Master Hand is the boss, because it's the hand controlling the toys, and they're fighting off the the hand that controls them. It's the same thing as the Lego Movie. You can't put them in the same universe. Donkey Kong works because Mario got his start in Donkey Kong. You had Jumpman in Donkey Kong, and so that's fine. You can't put Star Fox in there. God, I hate Nintendo so much.
Oh, they're going to do... Well, you remember Captain N and the Game Master? It was a cartoon, and it was this dude, and he fell into the video game, it was like very 90s, and then he had like a blaster on it, and he had a like Letterman's jacket had N, and then he rolled with like Simon Belmont, who was a freaking douche, which was not cool, and Kid Icarus and Mega Man, and they were flying around in his little like Nintendo car, and they fought like Eggplant Wizard and King Hippo, were like these doofusy henchmen, and King Hippo from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and there was Mother Brain.
Yeah, the belly button, you got it.
Boom, and Mother Brain was the bad guy. Like, I feel like the Mario movies are going to lean towards Captain N and the Game Master, Captain N, the Game Master, and watch if the next one doesn't like try to pull that. What they're doing with Masters of the Universe right now, where it's like somehow the portal opened to Earth and a real kid gets sucked in.
Like the live action Mario Brothers, where they were, it's stupid.
They're going to go full circle.
Going back to some comments, Altopich said that Tom Bombadil is the best part of Lord of the Rings. For some people, he is, and that's why they don't need to do this movie. Make it a cartoon. Don't do the dumbass framing device that's going to make him flashbacks. It's going to be awful. It's going to be dumb. I'm going to hate it. Speaking of dumb things, did you see the trailer for Apex?
No.
It's the most dangerous game, but in Australia. And so, like, nearly, how old is Charlize Theron? 50-something?
Just getting up there.
Yeah, so nearly 60-year-old Charlize Theron is this super fit rock climber lady who traveled from America to go set out into the Australian bush by herself so that she can climb rocks. And she goes, how do I get to the most secluded place as a woman on my own in this country I'm not familiar with, full of venomous animals and things that'll kill me? And these dudes in the sticks are all like, oh yeah, it's over there. You probably shouldn't go by yourself. And then Taron Egerton is like,
and she didn't even take a donk with her.
Yeah, not even a donk. And so the Taron Egerton's the creepy guy that's like, oh yeah, it's over here. Have fun. That's how you do it. And then he just shows up and he's like, hey, remember me from the gas station?
Was this the plot of Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Maybe, kind of. But he tells her that she can run for like 3 minutes, and then he goes after her with the crossbow, and it's just the two of them fighting to the death. And the trailer already shows her like breaking his leg and messing him up.
So about the only time I would say I'll take AI for $1, Alex, is if it was 50-year-old Charlize Theron in the outback being chased by a crossbow-wielding John Voight from Anaconda. Yeah, if they AI'd him in there, that character would be like, I'm going to get ya.
Well, what's crazy is that you have this like 20-something, maybe 30-year-old versus like a nearly 60-year-old, and they're like, oh yeah, the young fit dude is definitely going to lose to this lady who's totally out of her element.
My money would still be on Charlize Theron.
Really?
I mean, just
against Eggsy, the Kingsman? No way.
I mean, he's so short.
Yeah, so he's still a lot younger and has a crossbow, and he's from there, and he does this all the time, apparently.
I mean, I guess that's true.
And she's just some dumbass.
So, I do love a good final girl trope, but yeah, this one does seem a little...
The cards are stacked against her is all I'm saying.
I'm about to celebrate a final girl trope movie here in about 10 minutes.
Yep.
So...
I'll run through this real quick. Dust Bunny is going to make its way to HBO on the 17th. You talked to us about that movie.
Yeah, I did review that one.
Did.
Yeah, it was fun. It was not like, whoa, but it was definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, so here in about 2.5 weeks, you can watch that at home. There's a new trailer for a DreamWorks movie called Forgotten Island about these two best friends. It looks like they're somewhere Southeast Asia, something like that.
And one of them has a crossbow.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. No, they both have bad haircuts. And they fall into this portal. It's the whole K-pop Demon Hunters Spider-Verse animation style. And these two girls, the longer they're in this lost island under the water, underground, in this fantastical place with evil dinosaur things lurking to eat them, their memories fade, but they have to remember their friendship to to come back to it, because one of them's about to move to America to go to college, and so it's like a symbolism and an allegory for like, don't forget each other, and the whole time it plays "Don't You Forget About Me" over it in a new modern remix. There's also a trailer called Ballistic with Lena Headey in it, and she works at a bullet plant, and her son, who is an American soldier, she's given the bullet that killed him somehow, and she sees that it's a bullet that was made at the factory she works at. So then she starts to unravel the mystery of why was her son killed by an American bullet from an American weapon in a foreign nation, even though it says NATO round and it could be used by like any one of like however many countries.
But hey.
Yeah. And so it starts to unravel. And then something that was just kind of cool is that Andy Weir was recently in an interview because his movies just...
Oh, didn't he talk shit on Star Trek? Yeah.
100%. He talked shit on New Trek, not Star Trek. He was like, dude, I love Star Trek. I grew up, that's where my sci-fi roots are, is original Star Trek. And I started making stories because we didn't have anything from original Star Trek until Next Generation came out. Mm-hmm. So there was a whole gap between when... original Star Trek ended in like 69 until Next Gen debuted in like 83, 84. And he's like, other than the movies, but those came out in short order before Next Gen. And so he's like, yeah, man, we didn't have sci-fi. So that's how I got started into doing all this. And he's like, I'm so glad that Starfleet Academy has been canceled. Screw that garbage. That's not Star Trek. And there's so much stuff about New Trek, about how Paramount hates it, Star Trek fans, man. And so for someone that big to be like, man, I love Star Trek, not this crap. That's awesome. So shout out to you,
especially a guy who has
being a legend,
a very popular science fiction novel and movie out right now.
Yeah, two big time sci-fi movies. Yep. So yeah, legend.
Well, all right. Well, before we jump into the movie reviews for the week, let's tell you what's coming out in theaters this weekend. Not a lot coming out in theaters because everybody is making room for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is coming out actually a few days early. So that, and I love it when they do this. They'll come. It's going to come out on a Wednesday instead of like a Thursday. Or technically a Friday. They'll be like, well, the largest opening on planet F, because they gave it a couple of extra days for those weekend numbers. It's a way to cheat the system. But Mario Galaxy movie coming out, the original Mario Brothers movie made all of the money, and they are, I'm assuming that everybody on the production side of this, Nintendo Studios and the like, I think they're probably wanting the same sort of return. And I don't know if they're going to get $1.3 billion like the other one made, but who knows? American audiences are getting dumber and dumber, it seems.
Well, what's crazy, though, is that the cast in this, and they kept some of them secret, and you know why? Is because they're people that they'll say it's because they don't want you to know the characters, but the people in it are just flop magnets. Right, and people that no one wants to have. So Brie Larson.
Don't you say shit about Louise Guzman though.
Issa Rae, and now Glenn Powell. They're all going to get such a big boost from this movie because it's guaranteed success, and they'll be able to be like, hey, look, not all of my movies are garbage and trash. And remember those dumb things I said that made it where you don't like me? If you're Issa Rae and Brie Larson, they'll be like, but look, I did Mario now. And the thing that really sucks about that is that I don't want to have to deal with them anymore. I don't want to see more of their nonsense and their horse crap.
So going back to Louise Guzman, though, because I love Louise Guzman.
Yes.
They're bringing the character Wart into the Super Mario Galaxy universe. Is he in Super Mario Galaxy? Because I thought...
game? Yes. No, this has nothing to do with the game. Yeah.
Because Wart didn't exist. I didn't think. I thought that was all a dream. Super Mario Brothers 2 was a dream that Mario had. And Wart was like the bad guy. He was the Bowser of that world. And he didn't exist. I thought it was just a dream,
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of grabbing at characters to be able to make movies. Vince says that Donald Glover mentioned that he had heard the best compliment. At least they didn't get anyone famous to play Yoshi. That's harsh. So harsh. I mean, you don't see him do too many movies and stuff, really.
Not too much. I mean, he'll do cameos and stuff.
Yeah, he did what, he was in Into the Spider-Verse, and he did a voice, and I don't know what else he did.
He did some TV. Of course, Community was a big thing, but
yeah, it seems like he took a break after Solo or something. But
there's a lot of indie stuff coming out. The Singing Priest, which he's got Drew Barrymore attached, is coming out. There's The Drama, which is probably the next big thing that's going to hit theaters this weekend. It's written and directed by Christopher Borgli, and it's starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. And it also has Alana Haim, who I actually like. She's not in a lot of stuff, but she's very talented. It's about this engaged couple that's put to the test when an unexpected turn sends their wedding week off the rails. So I love Rob Pattinson. I'm not going to watch this movie. I'm just not a big romantic comedy, unless it's like a really dark romantic comedy, then I'm into it, even though on the cover of this, Rob Pat's got his face all bloodied up. So we'll see. I don't know. Great. That one's coming out. Also, Great Awakening. It's kind of a historical drama coming out in limited release, and everything else is just really, there's a horror sci-fi that's pretty limited release, but it does have some interesting cast members. It's got Crispin Glover and Rob Lowe, which are two very odd guys to be in a movie together. It's called The Third Parent, and written and directed by David Michaels. Odd cast. Doesn't look like it's got a big budget on it, but it might get a little very limited release to expanded. But anyway, I mean, most thing is all going to be Super Mario.
I'm going to hope that we get that biker movie, because that is what I will want to watch
and
more
biker,
than Mario.
Yeah, biker, we might get it here, but I guarantee you most places are not going to get it. It is a Telugu film about, what is it, like motocross?
Something. I don't know. I mean, it has people that I recognize in it, so I'll be like, I'm going to watch that.
He does love his Telugu movies.
Yeah, man, I like the Telugu and the Tamil and Hindi and stuff. I like all the Indian cinema. It's so good.
All right, well, that's what's coming out in theaters this week. And let's go ahead and review. Let's review the new movie that I saw in theaters that is in theaters nationwide right now. It's They Will Kill You. This is a movie we've talked a little bit about it on the show. The trailer came out. I mean, I don't know what curse happened to get this movie released the week right after Ready or Not 2, because these movies looked very, very similar. I have not seen Ready or Not 2. I feel like it was a really just weak-hearted cash grab at a sequel, and it's like, well, let's put more families and more final girls in there because it's part 2. Let's do the exact same, just second, with more characters. So I wasn't excited about seeing this, but They Will Kill You came out with a very basic trailer, a similar concept: girl trapped in a building, people trying to kill her because they're a part of some weird cult, and I'm like, and it's the main character is played by Zazie Beetz, who I haven't seen a whole lot of her since she was like Domino in Deadpool 2. Yep. Not in a whole lot of stuff. You've got Patricia Arquette, fresh off of a lot of fame from Severance, and you got Tom Felton, of course, who is Draco Malfoy. You don't see him in a lot of stuff, and that's really your cast, right? Heather Graham is in there for a little bit, almost unrecognizable in that role, but it's a small cast. And this movie, I didn't know what I was gonna get into when I went to see this movie, because the trailer was just, we've all seen it. Girl escaping a building. They leave so much out of this trailer that it made me love this movie. This movie is like an empty calorie, just a delicious, decadent candy bar that has no substance but is so much fun, and you get so much satisfaction out of eating it. I don't want to give out too many spoilers of this movie, but some fantastic kills, some fantastic body horror, some fantastic just gags. It is a hilarious, dark horror comedy that I was laughing over and over and over in this movie. Is it something completely new? No, I think it's not new enough to be really super exciting to cinephiles, even though it has a lot of references to other movies in the horror universe, if you're a big horror geek. And then it has, a lot of very stylistic film elements. You could definitely a lot of nods to Sergio Leone, and I don't want to even say Quentin Tarantino because he was just borrowing. I'm going to say Quentin Tarantino as a package of all the things that Quentin Tarantino referenced, all of the spaghetti westerns and samurai films and, Akira Kurosawa films, things like that he would always pull cinematography, tricks, angles, music cues, pulls, snap zooms, all of that stuff rolled into this movie and made it really, really fun. And it starts... You're 10 minutes in and it's full throttle. Like, it's not like, well, let's learn about the characters. And it just goes from 0 to 60 right out the gate. In the first 5 minutes, she's in the building. And then in the first 5 minutes, she's fighting for her life. And you figure the rest out along the way, which I kind of like. Some of these other movies where they like try to introduce you to all the lore and all the backstory and all the characters and why she's there and blah, blah, blah. And all the fun stuff happens in the second half. This movie's all fun stuff. And yeah, it's hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it. Because you don't see it coming. And if you've not done your homework, you're like, oh, that's where we're going. And then once you accept it, you're on along for the ride. So I would say if you want to see this movie, do not look up a trailer for this movie. I now do want to see more action roles with Zazie Beetz. She is pretty great as a lead character, even though she's never really been a lead, and she wasn't great in Deadpool, but she was very fun to watch in this. She had some supporting cast issues. There was a little bit of like herky-jerky and wonky dialogue. Patricia Arquette is just playing the same character that she played in the Severance show on Apple TV Plus. But it's a lot of fun. And like Al Topich just said on Twitch, he said, sometimes all a movie needs to be is fun. And this movie is definitely that. Jake, I think you would really enjoy this movie.
Yeah, it looked like something that I might give a try, just not in a theater setting. For me, just because
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's a good time. And I went with a friend, and he had not heard anything about it, not seen a trailer, went in blind, and we were laughing the whole time, having a good time. There's an eyeball scene that's just hilarious, and I, again, don't want to spoil it, but
seemed like there was a lot of gore from the trailer too. And
there
I
is.
I don't do the gore thing.
There is, but it's required, and it's nonsensical. Some of the fighting, like punching and people are flying backwards, shotgun that'll send a person like 3 doors down. It's silly. It definitely is silly, and it's horror comedy.
Right.
But you just don't. For me, I don't see a lot of movies in theaters that are taking themselves lighthearted enough as a horror action comedy. It had so much. It was dripping with classic Sam Raimi, which I really, really appreciated it. But but anyway, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to just tell you the plot of this movie, but I will say, action-packed, great fights, great stunts, fun, goofy gags, body horror, little fun twists, and yeah, just a classic final girl story.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at the movie list of things that we got, I saw that, but yeah, the gore, I was like, I don't really want to sit in a movie theater for that. And then Forbidden Fruits, which I watched the trailer of after we talked about it last week, and the trailer kind of ruined it. Honestly, I'm like, the concept's cool, and then the trailer showed you that it was kind of cheap and a little lackluster, so I did not go watch that one either. But
well, They Will Kill You in theaters right now. You can check it out. It did not open at a very, very strong opening, unfortunately. But maybe if word gets out, because the trailer does not do this movie justice. And while I don't want a trailer to come out that spoils this movie, I think it takes the fun out of it. I think a more expanded trailer that showed what this movie really was would actually benefit. I think a lot of people are trying to go the Barbarian route and go, oh my gosh, like what was going on in this movie? But not everything can do that. So it's out there. You can check it out. And I guess, Jake, you're going to tell us about Mercy and then give us the box office?
I can run through that real quick. Mercy is the movie where Chris Pratt is a cop and he's on trial, and the trial is 90 minutes with an AI judge who can read your emotions and tell if you're lying, but it gives you full access to prove that you're innocent to social media across all of Los Angeles, because it's required by law for everyone to have their social media and all of their devices linked to a cloud. So this Mercy judge has full access to CCTV, people's cell phones, everything that's ever been recorded or posted everywhere to help you solve your crimes to prove that you're innocent. And he's been framed for murder, essentially. And so it's exactly what you think it is. It's him sitting in a chair, scrolling through screens like so many movies are. Every now and then it goes to the outside world. But the whole movie is just, it's super dumb. It is better than what I expected it to be, honestly, only because
our bar was very low on that movie.
The actors tried. I just don't think they were given good material to work with, kind of a thing.
That does happen.
And the concept was really dumb because it was this AI judge who's supposed to be infallible and impartial, but the AI judge is very snarky and goes rogue many times, and no one points out in this like near future sci-fi crime solve movie that the AI being rogue and like thinking for itself and controlling devices it shouldn't might not be such a good development. Considering that it has unlimited access to all of Los Angeles, which is kind of like an Escape from New York situation, where they have cordoned off like criminal zones and things like that. It's dumb, but it is something that you can put on in the background.
Just let it
while
be.
You're doing chores. You don't really need to see what's happening on the screen most of the time because they just lay out everything for you since it's a one guy in a room
that's
movie.
What a lot of these movies, what was it, Matt Damon who was saying, he's like, yeah, I don't like
Netflix
taking some of these.
requirement.
It's a requirement that they just play it out there several times.
It's required for them to put in the script that they tell you what the deal is. 100% is how that is. So it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be, but it was not exactly something you would call a good movie.
All right.
Yeah. So it's worth putting on in the background just so you can be like, oh, did you see that movie? Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. But you could vacuum and not hear half of it.
And still be okay.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. He absolves himself. The worst part is, because spoilers don't matter in this, he absolves himself and the judge is like, cool, we'll stop the trial. Because at the end of the 90 minutes, it does this like sonic thing into your brain and just kills you instantly. If you don't prove that you're less than 80% likely to be the criminal in the situation, it just murders you right then. And he's like, no, because if the trial ends, then we can't continue to stop this guy. Even though they've found the criminal, they've proved he's innocent, they're tracking the criminal, and he has all these cops on his tail setting up roadblocks. He's like, no, put me back in the chair where I can almost die. And they don't reset the clock. They leave it at like 3 minutes.
Oh, God, I hate that.
And then it gets to the whole 3, 2, 1 countdown before he's
a 3, 2, 1 countdown.
released from the chair because the power goes out. And he's like, oh, no, what did I do? Why did I say I wanted to be in this chair that could kill me? 3, 2, release. He's fine. Yeah, so that whole thing of him being like, no, put me back in the murder chair. It's like, dude, you already know where he is. You have people on his tail. You're innocent. Why put yourself back in the murder chair, you dumb idiot?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. All right, well, let's get into that box office. This is the last bit of the show here before we gotta wrap it on up. But we're gonna give you the top 10 movies in the U.S. here for the weekend of March 27th through 29th.
Star Punch is a Chris Pratt movie.
It is a Chris Pratt movie. We're going to start with number 10, go to number 1. I did want to mention number 13. 12/13, The Mummy Returns, 25th anniversary, because it's not the original Mummy. It was in 1,400 theaters nationwide. It brought in about a little over about $600,000. I wish it brought in a little bit more. I wanted to see it, but it was not a good weekend for me. So, yeah, you want to hit it with number 10?
Yeah, number 10, Forbidden Fruits, brought in $1.1 million in its opening weekend. At number 8, Undertone, still in there in its third week, brought in just over $1.5 million, bringing it up to $18.5 million so far.
I enjoyed that one.
At number 8, Goat, which you can now watch at home as well. 7 weeks out, $2.1 million. It's about $100 million in the U.S., another $80 million elsewhere. So there you go. And at number 7, Scream 7 in its 5th week out, $2.6 million.
Now on VOD.
Oh, yeah. 118.7 in the U.S., another 85 elsewhere. So just over 200 million for that one as it stands now. And then at number 6, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. 4 million brought in by that one, but it was another 54% drop in its second week. So just over 16 million for that one, another 7 elsewhere. So it's still not even at 25 million bucks so far. And then at number 5, Durandar, The Revenge, in its second week, $4.6 million, bringing it up to 22.6, another $125 million. So nearly 150 million for Durandar, The Revenge. And remember, Durandar, it surpassed Bahubali and all these other movies to be the highest grossing Indian movie ever. So Durandar, The Revenge, big deal. But again, the gore from the first one, not really my thing. Number 4, Reminders of Him, actually climbing from the 5th spot. $4.7 million brought in by that one in its third week, bringing it up to 41 million bucks. Another 26 elsewhere, so 67.8 so far.
I was not expecting that
the climb back.
Climb back.
And then opening at number 3, the movie you just talked to us about, They Will Kill You, with a $5 million opening from the now defunct WB. Another 4 million elsewhere, so just under 9 million for that one so far. And then holding the number 2 spot, Hoppers, $12 million in its fourth week. Bring it up to just under 140 in the U.S., another 160 elsewhere. So
I don't know. It's
300
quite the
million.
The great white hype of Pixar coming back. You know, I mean, it's doing okay, but I don't think it's what they were hoping for.
Right. And then keeping the top spot, a movie that is actually worth going and watching, Project Hail Mary, in its second week from MGM, bringing in another 54 million
Which
bucks.
is impressive because it only had about a 30% drop from last week.
So just under 164 million in the U.S. so far, another 153. So it is sitting just under 320 for its big total so far. That's a good movie.
It is a good movie. You know, it's a fun movie. It's worth going and seeing and checking out. But yeah. That's it. That's our box office. That's our show. That's our thing. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can download the audio version of this podcast wherever it is you download your podcast from. Just search for the Drive-In Speaker Box Podcast. You can find us on our Discord. You can find us on all our social medias. We do a Facebook Live, a Twitch Live, and a YouTube Live every week at 8 o'clock. You can get it on that Discord. Just go to our link tree. It's at driveinspeakerbox.com. You can find whatever fits your needs. And thank you for tuning in, guys. And we will see you next week.
See ya.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.